How we doing, traders? Welcome to Money Mitch. We got another action-packed Monday. We're going to get into some sector analysis. We're going to talk about some stocks that I have. I took some profits in two names. I'll go ahead and I'll let you know. And also stick around for the second half of the show when we start talking about peak performance. We're going to get into another mental aspect of trading. We're going to talk about one of my favorite books. So stick around, guys. Hit the thumbs up. I don't want to give it away. You guys hit that share down below. Let them know Money Mitch is on.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now, we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.
What's going on, traders? How we doing out there? Let's go ahead and start the party. You guys do me a favor, smash that thumbs up. I want to see the likes get started from the beginning. Looks like we got 10 likes. We got about 89 people watching. You guys join in, smash that like, and let's get started. First things first, like we always do, is we look at the overall market, see what we saw out there, and let's go ahead and take a look here. So the SPY traded up. Not bad. Got to move up there towards 453. We didn't get up there 454, which is what I was looking at today in my pre-market look in my podcast. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the daily. Now we're really starting to get back towards the top of this trend. The question is, are we going to go ahead and break out through it or start the retrace from here? Let's go ahead and take a look also at the Qs. The Qs doing great. As we saw them break out through that 369.91, we had pointed out that level was so important. Now that we've gotten through that level, we're making that next level up. We had this kind of little turnaround, pushing on up there. I said I wanted to see 380s today, and that's exactly what we saw. Nice push here. Didn't even come back down towards that 374. Just pushed right on up there towards the 380s. And if you look at my podcast, we were talking about this level. And now that we got into this, what's going to happen from here? Are we going to start trying to break out of this range, really start getting on up there towards the 390s? That's what I'm going to be looking for on the Qs. We can try to find the strong names in the Qs today. Let's take a look at what we see here. All right, so first one up, of course, PayPal. PayPal had that news, guys. I mean, they're talking about potentially becoming a stockbroker there. Of course, this is a rumor, but definitely, as you guys can see from that volume that came in, I like that volume because now you're trying to close this gap, right? You had this gap down that happened between this one opened at 285, and this was a low of 296.78. So I think you're going to at least clear that gap back up there towards 296 and maybe towards 300. This is definitely one to keep on watch. And like Green says, money, money, money. All right, thoughts on AMD and Disney? Kenneth, I'll definitely get into that. You guys smash the like. If you guys are enjoying this, let me know in the chat what stock ticker you guys want to take a look at, and I'll definitely get towards that towards the end of the show today. All right, let's go ahead and keep going. What other stocks did we see big? Apple breaking through the 149.64. We had drawn these circles out before. Now we're really starting to get through the levels. Let's see where Apple heads towards now that we're holding 150 on any pullbacks. That's what we want to see. Next one up, IDXX, looking interesting because nice daily candle, sideways consolidation. Weekly chart has it going in a nice little flag pattern right here. We'll see if it can break out through the 700s. It's an expensive stock in diagnostics and research, but healthcare sector looking good to break through that 700. This is IDXX. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla, guys, really looking bullish now. I think this is going to make a big run. I talked about it on live trading with Benzinga early in the day before it was even pushing on up here. It was only trading around 718s. Now it's all the way up there to 730s. I put out that I think the next stop for Tesla is 750. So definitely pay attention. I think we could get a nice run in Tesla. You guys know I've been calling out a $1,000 move for the end of the year. The question is, can we get there? You guys let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys think Tesla can get towards that 1,000 price target by the end of the year. And then put a 2 if you think, hey, Mitch, you're losing it there, bud. Go ahead. Let me know what you guys think. Daniel going ahead with a 1 right off the top. I got to say, I love the shirt. I love the Verstappen. Got to represent Red Bull. You already know. I can't wait for October. It's going down. All right, let's get some more votes in here. Cameron putting up a 1. Eden with a 2. Master of Stonks, 1s. And now here comes some 2s. Some people think I'm crazy. But guess what? We'll definitely go ahead and see it. You're not losing it, but a 2. Gotta go ahead and focus. Grape Ape with a 1. Looks like we got about probably more 2s than 1s. We'll just have to see. You guys stick around right here on Money Mitch. Call me out. If it doesn't get there, we'll see it, right? All right, let's go ahead and see what other stocks moved here. Lulu is definitely one that's been ripping. I'm expecting this one to see some nice summer sentiment going into that. You saw a nice push on up there and a good move there in Lulu. All right, so Facebook also making a push through the highs. So these tech stocks really strong, not looking back. Microsoft starting to look strong also. I definitely keep that on watch. And Regeneron, I'm thinking this one's going to get to 700. I was actually even thinking about taking a trade off of this one. I don't trade expensive names often, but I really do think this one's going to get through 700, and then we'll see if it gets back kind of to that next level. 700 would be the first level I'd be watching, and then we'll see if it can get hold this level, this 659 on pullbacks, then now start pushing through and getting on up there towards that next level. I like this big U look. Let's see if we can continue that push in Regeneron. All right, catching up with the chat. What's up? ZM crashing. I know ZM had some earnings today. Let's go ahead and take a look here. What are we getting out of that? I can go ahead and see what we got on the earnings right now. Let me take a look here. Looks like we are getting a big hit down there. I'm going to go ahead and start reading out what happened here. Looks like we got a quarter adjusted EPS of $1.07 and $1.08 versus $1.09 estimate. Sales were at 1.015 billion versus 1.02, which was a 1.01 estimate. So not looking the worst. Let's see what other ones we got here. Yeah, I don't see the worst results in that right there, but it is telling me that it is trading lower on earnings results. I'm wondering what exactly in their earnings really caused this sentiment, but I mean, the earnings weren't the worst, at least from what I'm seeing right now. Year over year, customers were up. So if you guys see what's going on right there in ZM, let me know. This is kind of happening live action. I'm trying to go ahead and take a look here, but I'll definitely keep an eye out on that one. Thanks for that BT call out this AM. There you go, Chris. That's what I want to hear. Way to hang out on the live trading stream. Let's keep it going. Let's get into some other stocks. Looks like some Max N being brought up in the chat. That's actually one that I'm going to talk about a little bit. So stick around, Green. I got you. What's going on, Richard? Tiger Woods in the house, guys. Ooh, baby. Let's get it going. All right, let's take a look. What about Pub M for a swing trade? Trust me, I was in that one, took some profit, and now I'm looking to get back in. I almost got back in today on Pub M, so we'll talk about that one too, Daniel. I'll make sure to get to that. All right, let's take a look here at like what we normally like to do is look at the sectors and then look at the industries. So first thing that's going to pop up for us is consumer electronics. What do we see here? We see Weber. Weber is starting to push on up. I'm going to keep an eye out to see what happens with this stock, but a nice daily candle pushing back up, multiple highs in this level. So we need to see it push through 1750 tomorrow. Here, in Turtle Beach, nice turnaround there. We'll see if it gets strong through 30s. Multiple highs in the same level, 29.89, and then today you got 29.84. needs to get through that $30 tomorrow to show us that real bullish trend on up. Apple, we pointed out already, making a big push on up. HBB, this is Hamilton Beach Brands. I'm going to see what happens to this one, see if it starts moving. Right now, it's not really doing much. All right, let's keep going. What else will we see? Of course, this industry that I've been paying closely attention to is solar. As you guys can see, we've come up, down through it, come back around. Let's see what happens now that we're coming right back to this trend line right here. Let's see if we can get above here and start really pushing on up. We want to see this get towards the 390s and through these levels. Now, the big thing is, let's take a look at a little bit closer look. What solar stocks can really get us moving here? So JKS was one that I would really put out last week that I could see it get back going. Today it had a great day, over 10% day. Another stock to keep on watch, SPI. When this one wants to move, it definitely squeezes. iSun, nice bottoming there at the $8. We'll see if that continues. Max N here, guys, is a stock that I'm actually in right now, guys. I've been watching this one today. I actually added towards it on live trading with Benzinga. Now I'm looking to see this one get above 740s and continue its way up. I've averaged into this one. So now I'm closer towards the 17.9, but I'm looking for this one to just continue on upwards through that 1740. If it does come back towards my number, I'll stop out and look to re-enter. Max R being mentioned in the chat. I want to hear. Let's keep going. What's going on? What other ones we got mentioned in the chat? See skills, UTS. We'll get into some of those. Soul made a nice push on up and then turned around quickly. So we'll see what happens with that one. And looks like it's getting crushed in after hours. So could get a hit on the downside today. We'll see what happens with that one towards the open tomorrow. Daily chart on FS First Solar has it trying to get through these multiple highs. We'll see if it gets through 96 tomorrow and gets that next level up. Some other areas that we can take a look at. Lizzie got a good looking chart here. Trend starting to come back here. The big thing is I think this one's going to come closer towards the 200-day moving average and then just get stopped up. So it's looking like it wants to get up there towards 520s. Not much there on volume today, so we'll see what happens with this one. Now, one that I did just see show up, but I'm taking a look at is Airbnb. I want to see it get strong through 160s tomorrow. It had this sideways candle looking like it has a multiple bottom look. Now we just want to see it get through that trend line and get strong through the 160s. This chart looks interesting to me. I like the weekly, really starting to set up. It just needs to get that big, powerful push through 160. Let's go, let's go, let's go. My Zoom puts going crazy. Ooh. Yeah, Zoom did get clapped. Let's see where it's at right now. Oh, it's still going on its way down. Still getting crushed. Look at that. We got about an 8% move on the downside there in Zoom. Still getting really crushed. I tried to pay attention to see what happened there. Looks like they beat on revenue. So I'm just not sure exactly what in the earnings report was negative there. At least I can't see it right now. All right, let's keep going. Let's get into some other stocks. What else do we see? We saw real estate move on up. What was up here? Let's see what we got moving. IRCP, Self. Nothing I see anything that can be kind of a continuous run here. So I'd kind of leave that real estate alone. Let's keep going down. See what other ones we see here. Education and training, nothing stands out to me there. I did see a couple water plays make some good moves on up today, but the question is, will they continue to run? We'll see what happens there. Look at this water play, VWTR. Definitely a strong candle there. PCYO is my other water play. This one looked like it retraced massively today. Let's see if it gets back above 1550 tomorrow. I'll see if that can happen on PCYO. All right, let's go ahead and catch up with the chat. What's going on out there? I see a lot of stocks being mentioned. Would hate to be in calls on Zoom. Yeah, I mean, you and me both. Mitch, take a look at Agen. It's been doing great for you lately. All right, Andres, I'll definitely take a look. I got no problem with that. Let's go ahead and I'm going to talk about the two stocks that I took profits in today. One, you guys can take a look at Genie. Genie, I'm going to talk about. I actually took some profit today into the 20s. This is a stock I've been holding since about 1680s. Looking for this one to get back and hold 20. Today we cracked down below the 20. Let's see if tomorrow we can get back above the 20 and hold it. That's what I want to see, the closing price above 20. That's what we need on Genie to continue the trend on upwards. This one does have some good upside potential. Had talks with ESPN to potentially become a data partner. Let's see what happens with Genie in the next couple of days to see if we get a nice lift. We do have earnings on this stock on September 8th. So I'm going to be seeing what happens with Genie then. But I did only take about a little bit smaller than a third of my position off right now at 20% gain, looking for a 30% or higher gain on the rest. All right, that's going to be it for my stock there. I'll go start going through some stocks that you guys are looking at in the chat, and we'll start talking about them. Let's go ahead. First one I see here, Green Max talked about Corsair Gaming. Let's take a look at Corsair Gaming. I do like that turnaround there. Nice bottoming action by the 24.66. I think this one can get back towards 30, especially when we're also seeing here start making a push back. These are two stocks that like to trade side by side, so keep your eyes on that one. I would like to see Logi come back. Is it going to come back through this level? That 109.10 is so important for Logi. When it broke through that, I want to see if it can get back above that. All right, so Daniel asked about Pub M, looking for a swing trade. I actually really like this one. As you guys can see, my squares are still drawn on this one. The reason why I got out was on the down day in the market when it started just giving that hard action. I took some profit just because I didn't want to have to worry about the name while I was trading live. So, but now I really do like this bottoming action here, going off of the 26, looking for this to come back up through 30, and then it can get really strong at 30. Pub M is one that has about 75% of analysts on the buy side. So the fundamentals definitely point to the upside. And it was actually a stock that I gave part of my 5 must-have stocks in September. If you haven't watched that video, I definitely suggest you watch that video. There's been some great winners from that video already. Let's go ahead and keep going. What other ones being mentioned? SDC. SDC was one I was watching today to see what it was going to do. It just didn't really hold where I thought it would really break out from. It got on up there. This was a nice VWAP trade. We were looking at this right at the open. It came back. There was a big buyer that was showing up right here at 54. He showed up on the bid side. This one ended up coming up through to the 589, then eventually breaking through that, getting through the 6. But as soon as it got through the 6, it just turned around flat. Didn't have enough volume there to continue it moving, and then it just kind of gave it all back. This is why you sometimes, especially as day traders, you got to take what you get. Because if you didn't take that $6 profit and you let it go right back into your red, that's how you definitely get into a world of pain. All right, going to go ahead and catch up some more tickers in the chat. You guys smash that like. Let's see where we're at on the like scale. We got about 55 likes, over 260 people watching. Come on, guys. Hit the like. Until 100 likes, we're not getting to the next name. Smash up, guys. Come on. Let's get this going. Come on, traders. I want to keep going. We got about 60 likes. Let's get it up to 100. We need 40 more. There's 30. Can we get 20 more? Let's go ahead. Smash up, guys. All right, traders. So, one thing we're going to do is definitely stick around. We're about to get into the peak performance side of this show where we talk about mental game, the peak performance. It gives it away there, guys. We always want to be on top of our zone. So, stick around. That's going to be awesome. The reason why is that we're building skills weekly. Last week, we talked about the waves of trading. If you didn't catch that show, definitely check that out. The waves of trading will always be there. Today, we're going to have a great topic on how to be consistent. So if you want to stick around for that, definitely smash the thumbs up. Let's see it. Oh, 95. We need 5 more. Break that 100 resistance. The resistance must be broken. Can we break that resistance, guys? Break out. Let's see what we get here. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get into the next stock, skills. Skills. Let's see what we got. All right, so skills is actually bouncing back. Let's go ahead and let's get into the current candle. Let's take a look at the daily chart. This is one that I think is just going to make a move towards 10. Why do I feel that? Because it just can't get the lift here. Even though this was one of the most popular stocks that made a move all the way up there towards 40, 45, this has been on a massive downtrend. If you look at the monthly, we're really coming back down. We want to see when this is going to turn around. When is this going to give us a sign that it is actually reversing? Right now is not the time. All right, let's go ahead. Keep going. Oots. Oots. I used to have a friend named Oots. All right, let's take a look here. Utz Brands. Let's take a look. What are we seeing? I think this one's going to have a hard downturn. I do not like this stock. Even though it's a SPAC and I want it to come up, I just don't think a consumer defensive stock here, packaged food. I think this is heading back down towards 14. We'll see what happens on this one, but definitely doesn't look good. Another sign that gives me that instant like, oh, it's not looking good. Look at the 200-day and the 50-day, how above it is. And the 9 is just moving hard on the downside. So definitely this stock is on a major downtrend that I do not want to be a part of. I think this one is going to crack back down towards 14. All right, so Kenneth talking about Apple 153 support. I think 150 is the support on Apple, but hey, you could be seeing a different level, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, the time frames are what matter, and that's what it matters. What horizon time frame are you trading in? All right, time to catch up with the chat. What other stocks are out there? There you go. Breaking the resistance. That's what I want to see. Eden, the counter is here. He won't miss out for sure. All right, let's go ahead. What other stocks are being mentioned? Hit it. Looks like Disney being mentioned in the chat. Let's take a look at Disney. I wanted to see what's going on with this one too. Let's take a look at the weekly, see what we're seeing on the weekly, see if we're going to get out of this trend. I think this is going to make a nice move up. It's setting up for a nice move. The question is, how far of a move up will we get? I think we're just going to get a move towards 200. So we're talking about right around here. But it is starting to look juicy. And if it is going to ride up to 200, why not just kind of take that ride? I'm going to be looking to see if we can get back above 182 tomorrow on Disney. If we can start making a move up, I might be interested in at least taking a small risk to return on this one. This would be like a 1 or 2 point risk for a 10-point return. So if I risk 2 points, right, and I'm looking to make 10 points on my return, that's a 5-to-1 trade. That's the kind of trades that we're looking for. We're not really looking for 2-to-1 trades because that's not going to give us enough. So we're looking for a minimum of 3-to-1, guys, on that profit to loss ratio. Let's go ahead. What other ones? Andres wanted me to take a look at AGen. Making you money, bud. I can't blame you. Nice looking chart. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily has it pushing on up. Where can it run into some resistance? Let's take a look here on the weekly, see what we see. Monthlies is what I have to go back to find the resistance. I'm going to say that as long as it can hold 6, it's looking positive right now. And then from that next level, I would pay attention to when we get up to 723. That could be the level that we run into. Now let's take a look here a little closer. So this is the support, major support 601, resistance 723. Let's see if we can kind of get through these levels and then make another step up. I do like the hourly pullbacks this one does. So this is that hourly pullback, comes right back to the 9 EMA. You want to see it hold that 9 EMA and then get right back up there. Maybe a pullback to 650s is a nice look. CRSR, we went through that one. AMC and AQST till the end. Big moves coming. We'll definitely keep a watch. Pop. All right, let's go ahead. What are the ones being mentioned? Any word on Wish? Let's take a look. Are we trying to wish upon a star? I got no problem. As long as it can come back, let's see what this has. This is, look at the volume just dying off. Yeah, it can make up that gap. So you see this gap where it did this gap down, it can make that gap up. But how much is that? That's like $1 room there. That's not much. And at least on the weekly, this doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. So I would personally just stay away from Wish. The Dogecoin, the Doge. I kind of lost on the Doge, so don't worry. I won't blame you. Jalen Green is the future GOAT. I will tell you, Jalen's in the around the world. They're pretty good at sports. I know one, Jalen Rose. That's my dude. All right, so ZEV. Hello, Mitch. What do you think about ZEV? Talked about the next short squeeze. I think you're a little late, but can this one short squeeze? Yes, it can. It was a big, highly shorted stock when it made that crack of 10. This was one of those first ones that cracked down through 10 and went all the way down towards 6 multiple times here. Now the question is, do we really get popping here? I just don't see it. You know, I could see us getting a lift, but are we going to make a massive push here? It's going to need some big volume to step up. Now, there was some volume going into the close today, so that could have been the volume that we needed. Let's see the volume here. Looks like 907,000 shares traded near, let's say, 850s or 875. Let's see what happens if we can get above 9 tomorrow. 9 is going to be a big whole dollar psychological point, and we need to get back above that and kind of hold there. Live starting to push back. Remember when I gave this one and we actually talked about Live. Let me take off this message here, but we talked about Live on this candle right here. This was back on May 10th when we had a big run up. The question is, can we fill this gap? That's a massive gap fill to be trying to fill. You're talking, what are we talking about here? Let's see. You're talking about 21 points there for Live to fill that gap. It's going to be interesting. I would take a shot at something like this, but man, you have to be really tight. You have to hold towards, let's say, this high here, 36.26. You want to hold really tight and see if it can get at least back towards the 50-day moving average, which is at 49.54, and then get it really back up there towards 60. That'd be interesting. Looks wishful. Can't blame me on that. Let's get these likes to 150. Let's go. All right. 111 likes. We're getting up there. Let's go ahead. What about Baba? Baba. Baba looks like it's starting to break down on the bear side. One of the things is we also got some negative press on China today. It's just been really negative catalyst after negative catalyst. I would personally just stay away unless we get down towards 129.83, which would be closer towards a monthly support. Then I'll start taking a shot because I'll have a big upside look. Right now, I think it's a stay away. That's Baba. Body. Kevin wants that body. Felix wants that body. That body. Flex with it, boys. Let's see what happens in body. Right now, we're still seeing that monthly downtrend, weekly downtrend. I'm waiting for us to get out of this trend. Once we get out of this trend, I am going to be looking to get back into body. I've made some good profits in this stock before. Looking for it to come and crack down through the 7 one more time. If it doesn't break through that, then we could start seeing the reversal. But for right now, I'm sticking tight and just in wait and see mode in body, the Beach Body Company. All right, let's go ahead. I'm stuck at 220 in Baba. Ooh, let me see that level right quick. I want to take a look at that. 220. Ouch. That's tough, man. It's gonna take a while for it to get back up there. I don't think it'll never get back up there, but you're definitely deep in the hole there. This is why sometimes you just got to pick a line in the sand, and right now this is gonna be a world of pain for you. But you just got to hang tight. But even the 200-day moving average, this one has a good 200-day moving average. You see the blue line? Look how the blue line held for so long underneath the stock. Underneath it, showing that the price action is positive. It's looking bullish. Once this broke the 200-day, I mean, you got to get quickly back above that 200. If that's not going to happen, then it's going to be tough to get back up there towards 220. All right, thoughts on AMD. Jay's asking. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at Jay, and then I'll be getting into. I'll take a look at Jay. Did you see that? I actually looked up Jay. Let's take a look at AMD here. Nice, like, kind of cup pattern. You can see that cup pattern. Nice 105 sideways action. Let's take a look here on the hourly. On the hourly, I saw kind of this bearish pattern that we broke out of. This is when we broke out of it. The key is, can we hold that on pullbacks? So a lot of times what traders don't see is that there's smaller patterns and there's bigger patterns, right? And so what you need to pay attention to is, has it broken out of that smaller pattern, holding the next pattern, and the bigger patterns, what's that picture like? What really matters here is, what time frame do you trade on, and what time frame you're looking to take your reward. What's your time horizon? And this is very important when you're looking at trading. Let's take a look at the AMD chart and see what we see. All right, so we that pattern right there, as long as it holds 109 on pullbacks, it's still looking bullish for me in AMD. Let's take a look at the daily. The daily, if you look at this, we've had this downward trend. We came towards that 105, bounce right off of that, up there towards 115. If you wanted, you could start trying to draw this trend line, connect it towards that line right there, and we want to see it continue either pulling back, holding this line on 109s, or getting up there through the 115 is what we want to see on AMD. Uptrend now. Yep, definitely uptrend now. It was in a 1 hourly bear trend, looking to break that support, and then it completely broke out of that. Now you just need to see that trend hold. And this is why I like to use 1 hour charts and use 15-minute charts. And yeah, I'll use a 1 or a 5, but those are my main charts, the 15 and the hourly. CRSR, Kevin, I would just rewind. I already talked about that one and brought it up. I just don't want to go ahead and double touch it. All right, that's going to probably do it for the chart side of this show. Now we need to get into what? Our peak performance. It's always about improving ourselves in trading, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I can go through charts all day, but that doesn't make me better. What's going to make me better is improving on one skill a week. If that's our mental aspect, let's keep working on that. That's what I brought peak performance and why we do it. Let's go ahead and dive right into peak performance. And if you guys could do me the favor, smash that like if you guys think this is important for your trading. right, traders, welcome back. Let's get right at it. I'm seeing 126 likes, 346 watching. Come on up. Let's get this party started. So, first thing, if you guys want to be consistent, put a 1 in the chat. If you want to be a consistent trader, just throw a 1 in the chat for me. Let's get that going. Please don't answer questions from those who did not like. I like that, Eden. I got no problem with it. We can keep it going. There's some ones. Elon wants to be consistent. He's going to Mars. I can't blame him. Jalen the GOAT. You already know. Jalen. There's some ones. That's what I want to see, guys. Hey, we got to work on what? First things first is up here. The mind. Let's get to the peak performance. So, first thing, I am consistent winner because why? You need to ask yourself this question because I think traders don't ask themselves this question. Why are you consistent winner and what's going to make you be that consistent? So the first thing is creating the belief in consistency. Let's go to the next slide here. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the 5 fundamental truths, guys. This is all about living by a code. As traders, we need to determine some rules and codes that we're going to live by. Because if we got no codes to live by, then we might as well just be gamblers. And for that, I mean, just go to Vegas. You can do enough gambling there. Trust me. Let's go ahead. Let's get right into it. And take off this 1 here. So the 5 fundamental truths. We all must live by a trading code. First thing is we need to understand that anything can and will happen in trading. It's okay. Extremes are going to happen. You cannot control the market. Next thing up, you don't need to know what is going to happen next in order to make money. This is so important, traders. It's the truth. At the end of the day, if you're looking to make money in the market, you need to worry about execution of your strategy because that's what's going to get you your returns. That's what gets us the money. You can't always know what's going to happen next. And so you don't need to know. What you need is a system and to live by the trading code. Let's go back to it. Next up is that there's a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. What does this mean? So what this means here is that at the end of the day, guys, there's something called the bell curve, right? And so you're going to have those wins and losses. You're never going to know when they're going to go into streaks. We talked about this last week when we talked about the waves of trading. It's going to be different. And one thing you got to do is understand that there is a bell curve. And as long as I can execute on the system, it will come back to me. Yes, I said it, guys. If you can execute on your system, the return should come back, even when you start seeing those losses. The question is your system profitable? Because if it is, it should start coming back. Next thing we need to understand is that an edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability of one thing happening over another. And this is one that you really got to kind of start thinking about. At the end of the day, even my edge, if you look at, let's say, Dennis Dick's edge, or if you looked at Joel Elconin, or if you looked at whatever trader you want to compare to, at the end of the day, their edge is just a higher indication that the probability is now on our side. And when the probability is on our side, guess what, guys? We can start winning. So this is very important. Smash the thumbs up if you guys are enjoying this. Let's keep going. We all must live by the code. Every moment in the market is unique. What does this mean? Is that at the end of the day, guys, there's never one moment that's exactly what it was prior. And so I see this a lot in traders right now. They're thinking, oh, well, the market's going to come back like it did last year and it's just going to start ripping and ripping. No, this is a fallacy that we create as traders. We try to relate the past event into the future. And so what we must do as traders is we need understand that every single moment moving forward is a brand new moment. It does not mean it's going to be the same as the past. All right, catching up with the chat, seeing what you guys are talking about. What's up? Looking into my eyes. Yes, I see you, Evil. I see you. That's what it's all about. Let's keep going, guys. Next slide up. So I'm a consistent winner because 1, I objectify my edges. 2, I predefine the risk in every trade. 3, I completely accept risk or I'm willing to let go of the trade. 4, I act on my edges without reservation or hesitation. This is very important. This is one that I used to get me a lot, and I have to sometimes even write this down on a kind of a little post-it by my computer. And I want to tell myself every morning, I act on my edges without hesitation. If it's there, I take the trade. All right, next one. I have 5. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. This is important because we've talked about it. And I know that someone in the chat is going to jump all over this. But the manos de papel, paper hands, guys, we don't have that. We like green hands, guys. We like to pay ourselves when the money is available. So this is very important. 6, I continuously monitor my susceptibility to making errors. You're going to make errors. I can guarantee this, traders. It's going to happen. But one thing you must focus on is when we make those errors, realize what's getting us to those errors. Is it an error in judgment or is it an error in execution? Those are 2 different worlds. If you're making errors in judgment, that happens. If you're making errors in execution, we need to go ahead and solve that problem immediately. Last one here. I understand the absolute necessity for these principles of consistent success, and therefore I must never, ever, ever violate them. This is the important one, guys. All right, the question is, at the end of the day, are you guys willing to be consistent? It's going to take a lot. It's not going to be easy, guys. So, of course, I objectify with my edges. You got to stay neutral to the trade. The instant you either decide or assume what's going on or what's going to happen next, you will automatically expect to be right. What does this mean? A lot of traders, they get this point when they take their trade, right? They expect to be right on their trade instead of looking at the trade and being like, okay, so the probability is on my side for this to go my way. If it does, it does. And if it doesn't, then I'm going to go ahead and risk out at where I set the trade plan. That's what real traders are about. They're not looking at the trade thinking the moment they get in that they're going to be right. And if you start assuming that, then guess what? You're always going to have that attachment to being right and wrong. And you're going to be battling yourself where? Right up here, guys. Next slide. All right. The illusion. Once you create expectations that the potential to interpret data as painful or threatening begins. So this is something that happens to a lot of traders. So once you start seeing yourself getting into that losing position, you start thinking of all the losses that you've ever had. Your heart starts dropping down to your stomach. You get that pain feeling. You get that pit of your stomach feeling. This is what that's about. When you stop making trading errors, you'll start beginning to trust yourself. As your sense of self-trust increases, so will your sense of self-confidence. This is very important for traders. I can't stress this enough. If you don't have self-confidence in your own abilities, then every time you get in a questionable situation, you're going to look at it at the worst outcome. You need to be able to trust that you'll cut those losers, you'll take the profits, and that you're in the trade on a probability basis, not a right and wrong basis. All right, you guys let me know in the chat right now if you guys have ever gone through some of these struggles or are enjoying this. Throw a 1 if you've gone through the struggles. Put a 2 if you're enjoying this episode right now of peak performance. Want to see you guys in the chat. Matt Hammond talking about in the chat, never regret taking profit on a trade. Of course. Why would you ever regret? Money is money in your pocket. And what that means, it's a decision that you made and you stuck to. That is a pat on the back, if anything. I think those are the best ones because you can't be mad about the profits. There's the 1s and 2s. That's what I wanted to see. You guys are awake and with me. I'll keep going through this. Let's get to the next one up here. All right, so this one is going to be, and I want to get my Hammond's comment off there. Sorry about that, guys. I'm by myself here. Let me pull that off. All right, let's keep going. To even start this process, you have to want consistency so much that you would be willing to give up other reasons, motivations, or agendas you have for trading that aren't consistent with the process of integrating the beliefs to create consistency. A lot of this is from my favorite book, Trading in the Zone. We'll talk a little bit about that. That's Mark Douglas, if you guys don't know. But guys, if you don't want this enough, and if you're not willing to give up some of that ego, like detach some of that ego from your trading, then you're going to realize that you're going to just continuously just fall in a rut. And I want traders to break out of this rut. The way you break out of this rut is by giving up a little bit of your own ego, realizing that trading is not about being a hero, but about being an excellent process execution type of person. That's all it takes. I know that some people say that athletes are better traders, or some people will say that, even women sometimes are better traders because they can control emotions. At the end of the day, we all have reasons and agendas, motivations that are outside trading. We need to drop these. We need to focus on our system itself. And that's what gets us the returns. That's what takes us to the next level. All right, let's keep going. So one thing that you guys can do is you can set up an exercise. I think this is very important. So a lot of traders can't even consistently just execute on paper. They can't set up the exercise, have edge in their favor. Think about trading in a probability mindset and do everything that is needed in a series of trades, even 10 trades, 20 trades. See if you can follow it to a key. And when we're talking to a key, we're talking 100%. Push yourself on that and then look back to see if you're being consistent in your execution, not only your strategy decision making. All right, let's keep going. Next up, taking profits. Taking profits is a hard thing. It's a psychological perspective, is divided your positions into thirds. That's what I like to do. So a lot of times I'm not taking profits in one shebang. Reason why, a lot of the times this has to do with having low commissions, so that doesn't really matter. But I always look to take immediate profits to take the pressure off, right? And so let's say if I'm getting into a trade, a bull flag, and it starts going up there towards the resistance, I'm in a good trade. Some people like to add at that resistance. That's when I'm selling my first profit. Why? Because at that point, the trade is either going to go into breakout mode and give me that big gain, which I'm looking for, or the stock is going to retrace towards my break even, and I'm going to break even, stop out. And I'm okay with that because in a non-commission world, it's more than okay to go ahead and stop out, break even, especially if you took some profit already. We took some off the table. So it's okay. What this does is it creates the risk-free trading environment. Once you get into that risk-free trading environment where you know how to get towards that level, then you can start having objectivity on your edge and just focus on your system, nailing it every time. And then that's when we really start getting to that next level in trading. Taking a swing and round the bag. The key to trading, I feel, is trying to get ourselves in that risk-free opportunity. Risk-free opportunity means that there's no way for you to lose from this moment moving forward unless something completely unusual happens. And sometimes it's going to happen. There's going to be like the stock's going up. Whoa. But majority of the times, if you figure out how to play with the house's money, that risk-free opportunity, this is going to give you such an opportunity to give a big gain, an upper hand on your emotions of trading. Because a lot of trading has to do with what? Is that the truth is we're a little worried about that risk. We know that, hey, there's downside and there's risk in every trade. And so if you want to gain control of that emotion, and if it's really driving you, a lot of the times what I recommend is trying to take that quick early profit, because at that point you can make the decision to be break even and start considering the trade as risk free versus, hey, this is a big risk in this trade. And that's how it's going to feel at first. A lot of the times, I mean, not always is this the best situation, but for beginner trades, I definitely do think it can help you. So the key to getting into trades where you locked in some profits and you can take your hands off and let the trade work. That's what I always talk about, because sometimes the best trade once you got in is just to grab your hands and literally just put them underneath your seat and just, okay, I got the first profit. I'll break even on the rest. Let's see if we can get to the next reward level. If we can get to that next reward level, we'll take a little bit more off. And if it gets towards that end, boom, baby, I'll take that profit and I'll get going. And that's what matters too. You got to be willing to take your profit and get going. That's why Matt Hammond brought up earlier how you can't get mad about taking profits. No, you cannot get mad about it. Now, this is a big thing for, and I'll kind of make it full screen here. For a lot of us that are in kind of that AMC environment, the meme environment, what does this really mean here? What this means is that at the end of the day, these traders are here for a kind of one and done kind of trade mentality. We are here because we want what? Consistency. Consistency is going to be a lot of trades. We're talking 500s, 100, 300, 1,000 trades in the year. And so with that being said, you got to be careful with this mentality. You can't be the live or die kind of trader, especially day traders. The typical trader practically lives or dies emotionally on the results of their most recent trade. Win or lose, you'll see them. Oh my God, I lost. No. And then the next day you'll see them, they won, and they're like, yes, celebrate. No, control the emotions. It's not the wins or the losses that gets us to the results. It's the process, guys. And so this is very important. It happens to a lot of traders, and it's going to continuously happen. So accepting the risk, one of the things that you definitely need to do is start realizing that you need to accept the risk. So what this means is you can't deviate, can't get off of that risk. Start looking at your trading. Look at 20 trades. See if you can actually follow and trade your system exactly like you designed it, which is very important. Because if it can't be executed, then we're not going to get towards the level that we want. Last thing, of course, guys, is and I think we're on the last slide here. Let me just make sure here. Yeah. last thing is, of course, guys, monitor yourself and the techniques of self-discipline to refocus your objective. So what does this mean, guys? So really just look at yourself. Realize, am I really following a defined trading plan? And once I'm following that defined trading plan, am I executing on it? Because sometimes we're going to fall off. You're not going to be perfect. And that's what the good traders do. They catch themselves before they really fall into a rut. They say, hey, you're supposed to buy at VWAP and you're starting to buy 1% higher or near the high of the day, which is not what your setup tells you to do. Don't start falling into the rut. The moment you start falling out of that, you lose all probability control, all mathematical control. Your edge goes bye-bye. And that's what we can't have as traders. We need to stay in the fight and keep battling. Well, traders, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about this, I definitely would suggest you get this book. You can listen to it on the Audible version if you want, but this is about master the market with confidence and discipline and a winning attitude. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas, my absolute favorite book in trading psychology. Really did take my trading to the next level and helped me understood that it was really all about math and the probability outlook. Once you got the trader's mindset, you can really take your mind and apply it to a system and really start seeing the benefits. Let me know what you guys thought about this. Smash the like, hit the thumbs up down below. Give me a comment. Did you guys take something out of this peak performance? I want to know, because that's what this show's about. If not, hey, I can get off the mental aspects and I can do charts all day. But like, I know you guys out there, you guys want to continue learning. So definitely check out that book and continue pushing on your mental aspects and getting better every single day. All right, guys, this show's going to end and we're going to be getting you over to And I just want to make sure, let me make sure here that we got it set up. There we go. We got TrendSpider set up. Coming on next, you got TrendSpider, a master in technicals, just like I try to do. And I know he probably wouldn't want me calling him a master, but at the end of the day, I mean, we're all in this game together. We experience. I see the charts that Jake draws out, and I kind of see him the same way. So can't blame the guy. Check him out. Up next, TrendSpider. And I'll see you guys next week on Money Mitch. There will be no Money Mitch tomorrow because of the crypto conference, but you guys let me know what you guys thought in the comments below of today's episode. We'll see you next time on Money Mitch. Till then, you guys keep working at it because we're all in this, guess what? Together.
It's time for Money Making Mitch. When investors need a story, we're going to the moon. Welcome to Money Mitch, where story is everything. I'm here to find you the next opportunity. It's all about the green hands. Now we all know the bull market is here to stay. Money Mitch.